Alright, it was supposed to be drizzly, windy, and cold with lots of fog. We barely got any fog. It burned off way before I got here. I thought we'd come back to here. We haven't been here for a while. Yeah, that's a plane. That's the second one I've heard, although California is now shutting down. And the city, San Francisco, has now gotten quiet again. Very interesting. I didn't know so many things were open. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the food shortages that are coming. There are more and more warnings of major dire food shortages coming and have already arrived. At present, there are 7,797,585,999 people on the planet Earth right now. And the thing is that we have to feed all these people. But not only do we have to feed them, but we have to feed 900 million dogs, 600 million cats, almost 1 billion cattle, 1 billion sheep. How are we going to feed all these mouths in just a few years? We're quickly running out of food because of space, stupidity on government's fault of how to distribute and how to store. Greed has to be probably the second biggest problem with food right now. Too much greed. But Sweden is already on top of this and is already on the ball. They've already allocated billions of dollars into solving this problem. The biggest way they've found to solve it is with vertical and horizontal indoor and outdoor farming inside the cities. This is all a brand new update on vertical and horizontal farming. We're just going to pay attention to vertical farming right now. Let's look at some of the options. This whole thing is a outdoor vertical farm that looks similar to a tree. You could plant it, you could put this in the middle of the city, in a park, in urban, or any place you have a small footprint that you could put this thing. Look at the size of it and look at the amount of food this thing produces. And this is all outdoor growing. This whole concept can be done indoor as well, as we're looking at some already made indoor farming. But we're just starting this. This is becoming more and more the thing, is this vertical farming, either indoor or outdoor. Now, I hadn't heard of outdoor vertical farming, but what a concept. On the outside of buildings, along with your solar panels and your windmills on the top, you could really turn a single apartment building into a almost sustainable, self-sustaining unit. Find out a way to get drinking water without the municipal water supply that takes it out of creeks and rivers. The problem is that the virus has disrupted the food chain. There are lots of foods that are no longer arriving in shelves and in gourmet restaurants. But that's just the beginning. It's going to continue. The food quality will also go down because it will take longer for food to get to places. The World Bank is now warning that 130 million people are at risk of starvation. But it's been started and has been playing out for many years now. Right now, 10 million people are facing acute food shortages in Yemen. Now, Yemen could very easily supply themselves with food if they had vertical and horizontal farming or sky farming. This could be done internationally with all the countries pitching in to start to feed ourselves with vertical indoor and outdoor farming. What a concept. Most of the building materials for this would be recycled aluminum, recycled steel, and recycled copper and other metals. All right, we have one more thing to talk about, and this is under the U.S., the Orange Man's EPA. A lack of doing whatever they're supposed to do, whatever the EPA is supposed to do under the new rules under the EPA. 350 facilities have stopped tracking their water pollution and are not worried about their pollution anymore. Now, this one's a real doozy because it's only going to get worse and worse. Less and less companies are going to worry about their pollution. They can make a lot of money just dumping raw crap they don't want into the rivers and streams and have no consequences. Oh, by the way, a lot of cities and towns and municipal water supplies are supplied by local rivers and lakes that you don't want full of sewage and other pollutants, do you? Or is that the new Republican thing, is we want sewage? But it's not just the water supply that the EPA isn't worried about anymore. It's old fracking wells. They're being abandoned. All these frackers that are now going out of business because the price is too low are just leaving all their junk all over the land, spewing methane. At night, this plant was caught in infrared spewing out loads of methane in a closed, abandoned plant. And this is happening all over the U.S. There's only one reason that the frackers would leave the mess, is because they know that somebody else is going to clean it up. The taxpayer, the Republicans, and the Democrats will pay to clean up all this toxic waste, all this material, all this garbage that was left where there once was wild lands. Oh, what the hell, it's just tax money. It's definitely not something that the public needs to worry about. It's only billions of dollars of cleanup that will, of course, a lot of this oil pollution that's on top of the ground will, of course, seep down into the water table, which nearby pumps are pumping up, and you're drinking in your water supply because nobody at the EPA is worried about your water supply anymore. The Orange Man brings good things to us, and his supporters don't care about their water supply, or they would never, ever put this man back in office, or let him be back in office. And I don't understand why we don't have thousands of people banging pots and pans and demanding his ouster. And where are the fucking Democrats? Hey, Joe Biden, Joe, that's right, he's asleep. Can't bother him. But it's just ridiculous. All the corruption that's going on right in front of our faces, and neither party is even bothering to lift a finger, say a word, or just, they're going to the golf course. If you don't pay attention to what's going on right now, it's going to come up behind you and bite you in the ass. But there's quite a downfall in the economy coming because of the second shutdown here in the U.S. Because the Orange Man didn't do his job and is still not doing his job. We're still short of PPE and masks in some places in the country, like Florida, Texas, and other right-wing states here in the U.S. You know, you can only ignore reality for so long, and then it comes and gets you all at once. So you either get your reality all the time, or once in a while. So one more thing, there's a big tax cut coming to the wealthy 1%. And guess where they're going to get the money from? That's right, your unemployment. It's going to be cut 50 to 75% so that they can give themselves a tax cut to the 1%. There are still people that support the Orange Man. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. So, I appreciate all the ups and downs, the new subscriptions, and until next time. And don't forget the comments. And until next time.